up, Jack? Chilling? For the last month, I've been a little stranded here at this kind stranger's house. My engine gave out. Mostly my fault. I'll take responsibility for it. I've been stranded here trying to replace my motor that had blown going down Kings Canyon. Kings Canyon's up there, and it's really nice. You can see how this road swings all the way around, and you could see the only place sequoias exist up in the high reaches of the Sierra Mountains. Beautiful place. Even more beautiful sunsets. There's always nice things anywhere. So, you know, it's not about like focusing on the negative, but trying to focus on the positive and seeing what good things your place has, like this old truck. And all these little roads and trails. Super cool. They were all carved by his grandfather on that little machine over there. All these roads. Super cool. Big lesson there. Check your coolant and check your car's ready to climb a mountain before you're going to climb a mountain. The coolant wasn't, there was no coolant in there because my clamp was too rusty. So rusty, in fact, that it had rusted or dry rotted a hole, not really a hole, you couldn't tell on the hose, but it had dry rotted a spot where all the fluid had come out. This thing had no way to cool it. Coolant cools your engine, right? This is the new engine we put in, which also doesn't work. If you ever wanted to know what a rod knock was, there's connecting rods that connect to the pistons right here. And there's a bearing inside. There's a shaft right here that moves the pistons up and down. And when that bearing wears, it shakes. And that's the sound. That's another cool thing, you know. I didn't know how much I really liked mechanics or how capable and how kind of confident I am with this now. You know, you kind of look at an engine and you say, I could never do that. But now that I've already done it, I can say how much harder doesn't mechanics get, you know. We've already swapped an engine out. This engine used to be in there. We took that one out, and it's really interesting and inspiring, really. I find all this mechanic stuff pretty well inspiring. You know, all these parts, hundreds and hundreds of parts, all come together to make one thing do one thing, you know? Helps you get to wherever you're going. And I think that's like, could be a good motivation for society, you know? What the hell are you doing over there, Jack? You know, like we could all work together, and we do. I don't know if we see we do, but you know, we do. Yeah, I just want to update you a little bit, maybe tell you some lessons I've learned from being stranded at a stranger's house. You know. What the? The small things you can enjoy, you know? Gotta enjoy those small things. Where's he going with that? As of now, I'm just waiting for bearings. That's going to take a while, though. So I figure I'll get back on the YouTube kick, you know. I put the motor at high priority. I wanted to be able to get back and moving, but now that that's not even a real potential, yeah, just shift the priorities. And we'll get back to this. I wanted to give you guys the best me, and stressed out, going insane me wasn't really something I wanted to put on camera. Well, I did put it on camera, but you know, I didn't really want to put that vibed energy into YouTube videos through editing or try and rush it or anything like that. So sometimes you have to put out some boundaries, you know? You can't allow people to hurt you or things to hurt you, you know? As much as that engine hurts me, how much of that hurt do I allow it to hurt me, you know? Because things can only hurt you as much as you allow them to hurt you, type of stuff, you know? It's the whole boundaries thing, you know, like cars or YouTube, you know? You gotta accept sometimes that you're a human being and you can only do so much, and you are enough. And if you're doing your best, your honest best, you've got to accept that that's all you can do today. And don't put yourself down for it. Just continue and go, and you'll get to it, you know? And if the people who you're not helping out because you do have to help yourself first. If you don't help yourself first, you can't help anybody, because you'll just be there with your problems trying to suck on other people's resources, when that's not the point of anything. The point of relationships and friendship and stuff isn't to suck on people and take and take. It's to give, and symbiotic relationship. One hand washes the other type of stuff. I have skills, you have those skills. Whatever. But boundaries are nice, especially if it were to come to parents or YouTube, If somebody is pushing you too hard and they can't accept that you are who you are and your best is your best, you've got to set the boundaries and not let them hurt you. And not let them tell you that you're not good enough. Even if that is your own self telling you your own self that you're not good enough. I'm doing all this stuff and I'm trying to take care of myself, and I can't do YouTube at the same time. Or I can't find a place to upload videos, It's hard, but sometimes you just have to go back to basics. Work on yourself. Work on the things right in front of you. Can't think too far in the future, because that's a good way to make yourself insane, Sometimes I gotta think one thing at a time, If I were to just think, we're gonna replace this engine, I would probably go insane, because I wouldn't know how to do it. But if we go step by step, right? Okay, let's start by, unplugging all the cables. Maybe we'll name them. Maybe we'll get out a tray and put all the screws in specific spots. That could be a thing you do, Get out there. Still take care of yourself. I know sometimes we can be a little tunnel vision, but sometimes you still do need to take care of yourself, just because you need to get something done doesn't mean your body doesn't need to be taken care of, that you don't still need to eat good food, exercise, meditate, whatever your thing is. If you know yourself and you know what you need, get it and do it still, even though you're with people. You might have a fear of abandonment or stuff like that, but let it be and enjoy what is right now. One of my favorite things to do is to transmutate, like Viktor Frankl says, once you give purpose to suffering, it ceases to be suffering. So if you could find a way to spin your negative situation in a positive light, whether it's making a poem about it, like my friend Jamie does, check her out, what up? Or, making YouTubes about it like I do. I try and help people, maybe anyone can at least get entertainment from it, You help one person. Was your suffering all that bad? At least I'll have a nice story to tell. That's what I always think, I just think, try and think of the situation in the moment and try and kind of work on regret, and enjoy where you are while you are there, and say, what can I do to make myself not regret this in the future? If I just mope around, probably not gonna like that I did that. But if I do what I can and try and be strong as I can, learn the lessons life's trying to teach me, I don't think I could really put myself down too much, as long as I'm honestly doing my best. And sometimes you're a human being. You deserve a break, We're not just machines, We deserve breaks and to treat ourselves sometimes. All that good stuff. I did write it down. So if you want to see more, maybe more of a transcript, I'll put it all in the description. Just think about it. All these roads were carved by that one machine. How sweet. And he's got a pond too that he made over there. I'll show you that later, because you'll have to stay tuned. The truth of the matter is, much as the news and stuff don't portray life and people as good, most people are good. What type of person takes a stranger in for almost a month now? I've just been living on their property, living in their house, And not only that, I've got this friend who drove 5 hours from my friend Lou's house all the way up here to Kings Canyon. 5 hours to make my birthday the best birthday I ever had. I'm 26 now. Do I look like I'm 26? I don't know. I always take it as a compliment when people card me for stuff. I'm like, thanks. Still keeping my devilish good looks. My dad still looks good, so I'm gonna have him for like the rest of my life. He's 50 and he still looks pretty good, so He's got black hair. I don't know, maybe he dyes it. I don't know. Do that just for men. It should be called Just for Insecurities. What up? Actually put yourself out there and vibrate, you know, positive, good energies. That's the thing, you know. Bad things happen to people who deserve them to happen, you know. Like, I'm not saying all the time, but like, don't people who get robbed hang around with robbers, you know? If you live by the sword, you kind of do die by the sword. But it's also the same thing, you know. If you hang around with good, honest, loyal, genuine people, they will give that quality to you back, you know. But if you hang around with shysters, thieves, drug addicts, you're gonna get that, you know. Sometimes the only thing you can control in life is how you react to the situation, or how you let it affect you, you know. Do you become the bad things that are happening to you? You know, just because someone treats you badly, does that then turn you into a bad person and you become just as bad as they are? Or do you, you know, it's all you can do, you know. Treating people nicely and how we'd like to be treated, you know, is one of the only things that separates us from animals. If we lose our humanity, what do we have left, you know? If we lose our integrity and what we really hold near and dear to ourselves, what do we have left? You know, you may have all the money in the world, but if you don't have a soul, you know, what's the point? Most suffering is kind of self-inflicted, you know? It's our not accepting of the situation that then inflicts pain on us, you know? Say you really liked a woman, but she didn't like you back, or something like that. Or, better example, how everyone was just... I remember the election, when everyone's like, no, Donald Trump's the president. What can you do about it? He's the president. Nothing you can do about it. Accept it. It's the best, you know? I mean, just like I see every day, it's almost 100 degrees here. Does fighting how hot it is every day do anything for me, or does it just cause me pain? I know it's hot. What can I do about it? I'll just accept it, you know? And you also got to accept that nothing is permanent. I mean, maybe tattoos. Maybe that's not a good saying anymore. But you get what I'm saying. You know, that's why they say, you know, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem, because everything is temporary. I'm not going to be here forever. I think in the past, to the RV, was I there forever? I mean, it might feel like it in the moment, but you kind of got to pull yourself out and say, I'm not going to be here forever. You're not going to be in high school forever. You're not going to be in college forever. Life goes in cycles, you know, and you got to see what you can pull out of them and try and make them the best you can. Try and live day by day. Because, you know, life can suck, but it also cannot suck. So you've really got to be grateful for what you do have, you know. You might not have a lot, but you still do have some things. We still are human beings. Very, very lucky to be human beings. You know, the possibility of being a human being is like 1 in 400 trillion. So that is a very good opportunity, even better that we are born in America with such freedoms that we take for granted. Speech, you know, all the other freedoms, all the other amendments, you know, shit. Women still can't drive in some countries. There's still slavery. Not here. Oh, see the pond peeking through over there? Oh, it's super sweet. I was a little afraid to jump in it though the other day, because there's so many air bubbles. I just wonder what's in there. I don't think I'm gonna die, but I don't need any more problems, you know? Sometimes you just, in life, you gotta not take unnecessary risks. I think kind of like, as much as motorcycles sound fun, I don't think I trust other people. I mean, maybe out here where there's nobody else, but motorcycles, I don't know. How cool is that to make your own pond? I don't know if that's doing you justice there. A lot of people like to live on emotion, and maybe emotion gets attention, but emotion isn't what you should do. It's not rational. It doesn't solve anything. It might get you attention, but at the end of the day, what does attention really do for you? You know, what does fame do? Nothing. It's just an empty glass that needs to be refilled as soon as it's drinking. You're sitting there like, oh, come on, give me those Instagram likes. Oh man. How about you just start from the inside, you know? If you're never happy right now, nothing is going to make you happy, because that's not an outside problem. It's an inside problem. You know, you just need to deal with that inside. You know, if I'm not happy now, I'm never going to be happy. It doesn't matter where I am. If I can't figure out the happiness problem here, right now, and then take all those lessons that I've learned to be happy anywhere, I could be happy anywhere, doing anything, anywhere, in any situation. No matter how bad the situation is. Sometimes you just got to give the situation to the universe. If there's nothing you can do about it, you know, give it to God. Say, hey, you know, I need patience, and there's nothing my thinking can do about the situation. So here it is, you know, you figure it out. I have faith, you know, in time, because there's nothing I can do now. I just got to wait, you know, got to wait for them parts, and then that doesn't work, you know, just let it go. Let that thing go for now. I'll just focus on something else. I stressed out meeting my friend Jamie, right? You know, but I wonder if any of the stress and any of the worry actually did anything, actually helped the situation. You know, it's an emotional response that comes from our insecurities, you know? What if I don't think I'm good enough? What if I, instead of making all these, letting my mind make up all these lies, blatant lies, maybe fears, maybe based in trying to help. You know, I do believe anxieties and demons are trying to help, but they're kind of like parents, you know, even though they are trying to help, it's not helping at all. It's actually hurting. And sometimes I think that I'm helping, and I also hurt people because I don't know, I feel like it works so well for me, but you know, you got to let people be who they are and not judge them for it. You know, love them for who they are, where they are. You know, everyone is somewhere. You just got to accept them for that. Big damn lizard on that thing. I don't know where he went. But, yeah, I totally forgot what I was going to say. Damn lizard. If we let the situation tell us what's going to happen, and we do it multiple times, we let the situation tell us what's going to happen, and then we remember what happens, and I believe that's what's called confidence, you know? And if that person doesn't accept you for who you are, which is a great person, an amazing person with lots of skills and traits and talents, and that's the problem. You know, a lot of people will think, oh man, I could never get the person that I want. I could never do the job that I want. But you can. But your fear to think that this is enough, this is it right here, will keep you stuck and not getting the best thing that you can get. You just have to be, you know, confident enough in yourself that you can get that, and to leave what's not good enough for you. Even though it is some things, it's not a lot of things, you know? You know, like, it's one of those relationships where, like, you have sex, but you really have nothing in common. Now, what do? You know, do you give up the sex to try and get something more? Or do you just say, A lot of people just say, because they don't have enough confidence. They don't think they can do it. Or maybe they're just too lazy. I don't know. But, hey, that's life. It's because we don't think we deserve to do what we want. At least in my case, I'm like, man, I'm having so much fun. I don't think I deserve it because I'm a bad person. But am I? No. I just think I am because I'm not doing what my parents want me to do. Just because they made us doesn't mean they control us. I appreciate it, but you know, this is my life. And if you don't like me for me, maybe you don't deserve me. Unfortunately, social media doesn't really show accurately what real life is. You know, it's not all good things. It's a multitude of gray. It's good and bad, and there's problems, and everyone has them, you know? And I think you just gotta try and help each other, you know, find someone nice, help each other out with your problems. You know, everyone has them. You're not going to find nobody perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. And it's a really poor goalpost because you're never going to hit it. And if you think you are, you're always going to be not enough. But you're enough right now. You are good enough right now to do whatever you want. And you can be better in the future to do whatever you want. If you work every single day at something, you might not be great enough, but you're good enough. You're fair enough. You can do whatever you want. I didn't say it's going to be easy, but it is going to be what it's going to be. And you shouldn't accept anything out of it. Just because you do something doesn't mean you get the rewards of it. It just means you get to do it, which is why you should enjoy the journey and not the destination. Because you can live and you can put goalposts in the future. I'll be happy when I do this. But that end point is just another start point. You're just going to kind of just like fame or attention. As soon as you put out that Instagram and it gets all the likes it's ever going to get, you're kind of just empty. Instead of enjoying every part of the process of making that picture, writing the poetry, you know, finding a place to put the piece of paper in front of. Jamie's really good at that. Her things are damn like masterpieces, you know, especially her calligraphy. I feel like all the characters in there got their own like character, you know, they got their own personality. But you got to just enjoy it, you know. This is part of my life, and I'm not going to let it ruin my time, you know. You can see things as good, or you can see them as bad. It's all perspective, you know. I still have my arms and legs. I'm not addicted to drugs, you know. They haven't murdered me yet, you know. You gotta, you know, be grateful. Count the positives and the blessings in your life, not the bad. You know, you can always get the bad. You always fix the bad, as long as you say you will. You know, you will. As long as it's a process, you know. Have patience in yourself. Have faith. Have confidence. Say, I will do this, and then do it every day. And have confidence in yourself, and don't need gratification from people. That's the worst thing about all of it, you know, is doing things just for other people's validation. You should do it because it makes you feel good and because you're trying to help other people out, or maybe not even help other people out. Just do it because it makes you feel good. And I think that feeling of you doing something that you really love vibrates to everyone, and they're like, maybe I could do something I really like. You know, if you ever seen somebody like go badass and like a street performer, you know, dude hitting buckets, or this woman was like, she was on a harmonica and you could just feel the soul in her harmonica, and you're like, damn. Or like Ken Block, you know, you ever see someone so good at something, you're like, man, I want to be that good at something. So do it, you know. You've got the rest of your life to do anything. It doesn't matter what, you know. You are going to have to fight, you know, and so you should, you know. Dreams aren't just given to anyone. You don't just one day say, I want my dreams. All right, I guess I got them next day. This isn't some sort of FedEx Express shipping. You're gonna have to fight, and you're gonna have to deserve, you know. You're gonna go through trials that are going to test you to see if you deserve the things, you know. How many, say, comedians have tried stand-up, but we're like, you know? But here's Kevin Hart grinding every day for 20 years. You know, I think someone said, you grind every day for 20 years to be an overnight success. No one sees the bad. No one sees you not being able to pay your power bill. They only see the good. But I wanted to be more human being-like. You know, I wanted to show you the bad. Maybe help you all out. Just be a normal person as much as I can be. But still not depress you. I want to be real, you know, and just, it is what it is, you know. Maybe a little more for me in the negative sense, but hey, we don't choose the body we're put into. We don't choose our family, but we can choose how we react to them. Do we hate ourselves for our flaws, or do we accept them and embrace them and try and make them the best parts of us? You know, some people could see vulnerability as a weakness, but then you could say, no, I think I'm not going to hide my emotions. Not only am I not going to hide them, I'm going to throw them in the air, and I'm going to be proud of them. You know? Same token, you know, people are in the closet gay, right? But you don't need to be. I'm not saying you should be like a super duper gay guy, but being happy about who you are is like one of the big steps. And journaling, man, I tell you what, journaling or putting it out anywhere, or maybe just talking to somebody about your problems, it's a lot better in than out. Like Shrek said, a lot better in than out, is there. Very true. Instead of having these problems circle around in your mind you can't do nothing about, or you can do something about, but you know, those are future things, you know. I think Eckhart Tolle says, you know, you got to take trips, kind of like exactly where we are right now. We have to take, we live in, you know, in the country. There's a city down that way, 20 miles, 30 miles, right? This is the present moment, this place. Now we might need to plan and, you know, get groceries, gas, what have you, and we will. But we spend most of our time in the present. Doesn't mean we can't plan, but we don't live in planning. We live right here, right now. And so write them down so you don't forget, or you don't. That's the problem, you know. In life, you might set out with goals and then you forget them, and then you get sidetracked, and then, oh, I guess money becomes the new goal, or something easier, or you just forget, or you're too busy, or life just gets to you, you know. So before you do anything, set out what you meant to do, and then when you get there, stop. If it's a money thing, you know, do the whole Dave Chappelle, right? I like that, you know, that he stopped. They tried to give him $50 million for another season, but he didn't want to do it. Now that is like permanent respect, right? Shoot, he respected his own integrity and all that stuff. And he didn't let like the demons, you know, everything else. I guess there's two ways to get things in life. I like this because I've been vlogging for so long that, you know, you can actually see progression. You know, you could see depression, and you could see me using substances and YouTube and porn and all this stuff. But now, you know, I'm trying to get a little bit better and actually solve my problems the way they're supposed to be solved. Not the easy way, but it's definitely the way you should. Because if you look down the line and you say, if I watch porn and I smoke cigarettes and I do all this and I just have random sex with people, what's it going to give me in 5 years? Versus actually doing things, you know, the right way, you know, listening to your body, having meaningful relationships, not smoking, you know, exercising instead. Same feeling. All the feelings that you get from these things already exist inside you. If you didn't have a connector for it, you wouldn't be able to feel it. So, you gotta go get the things from inside. This was a bit extra long, but it's been a month. It's been a long month, long, hard month. You know, I was actually thinking about, you know, those Green Berets and how much torture they go through. And I said, you know, this place wouldn't be that bad of an idea to test mental toughness. I mean, it's not that bad. I think of that black guy with the bald head. And every time I get into a hard situation, I say, what would he do? Dude ran, what was it, 100 miles? And he didn't, he never ran before. And he was fat. He broke both of his legs and he kept on running. That's, if I could be 10% of him, you know, I'd be all right. Shoot, I'm not trying to prove anything, and sometimes I feel like my pride might get in the way, and I might say, you know, what am I doing here? You know, like, can I just relax for a day? Do I gotta be super duper macho man, be in pain, you know? Sometimes I have a drink, sometimes I smoke, doesn't matter. I mean, as long as 95% of the time, I don't, you know? Actually made me like really realize, you know, how much I didn't treat myself when I was treated so well by Jamie and by Lou and by Tammy. I'm like, this exists, you know, and I want it for myself. I just didn't know it existed. That much love from basically strangers, you know. I don't mean to put my family down, but you know, I never got it. And if I got it, they didn't show it well, you know. And I guess for the rest of my life, I want to practice showing people and telling people how much they mean to me, you know. for everyone who's a friend and everyone who subscribes and likes and comments every time. I really do appreciate it. So remember to like and subscribe, boy. Thank you for watching. You know, as always, I think you should lead with love, whatever you're doing. As long as, that's what I like to do, you know. I like to say, am I doing something right in my life, you know? I just like to say, as long as I'm not doing it in spite or to hurt somebody, you know, as long as I'm doing it in love, you know, or in the trajectory of said love, I think I'm doing all right. And you kind of have to have faith in yourself, patience, or anything, really, you know. As long as you enjoy it and you're not hurting anyone, you know, you have fun. I'm trying to really work on that, you know. I used to have to really prove that I was having fun all the time. Instagram, YouTube. I'm trying to just have my own fun and let myself be enough reason to have fun and to do anything I want for no reason. Besides, I'm enough and I love myself, you know. Anyway, you know, hard emotions. But I think life will be better for it, you know. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. If you're having trouble right now, just take a second. Look at this lake. Have an A moment. Stare at your hands. Come to the present. Everything will be all right. Everything's going to work out. Maybe not now. Maybe not this year. But it will be all right. You're capable. You can do anything. As long as you believe it. You practice. You subscribe. What up? Peace.